What up, guys? Kevin here. Remember the good old days where the only place where you had to tip, where it was expected to tip, and that was it, was a sit-down restaurant? Not these like fast casual places where you go up and order and then you go sit down. I mean like an actual sit-down restaurant where you go, oh yeah, I got a tip. I think even my mom to this day still carries a little card, a little cheat sheet of what you should tip. My thing is like you just take 10% and then double it. Take 10%, move the decimal over, and then double it. That's what you should tip. It's that easy. I went to ASU and I figured that out. But yeah. Nowadays, everywhere I go, tip me. I need a tip. Shout out to the restaurants where like the little iPad screen you sign where they just go ahead and they select no tip for you. That makes me want to tip. Ironically, that makes me want to tip when they go, oh, yeah, don't worry about that. Let me just go ahead and hit no tip there and just go ahead and sign it. Like every place wants a tip. Everybody, like everything is expensive and people want more money. Everything has turned into DSP. The world has turned into DSP, just begging for money. And it's disgusting. And now we got Ybarra here. If you want to know who Ybarra is, he was the head of Blizzard. I assume a position that pays at least a few $100,000, if not a few million. And he was also one of the dudes at Xbox who left years ago. And he just left, I guess you can say, Blizzard and Xbox recently to go travel the world the same day that all the people that were under him were being laid off, who went on Twitter begging for a new job. He put out a post saying, yeah, I'm just going to go travel the world. You'll see me again. You'll see me. I'm Ybarra. You'll see me again. But let me go travel the world. Let me go to Cape Cod and Cancun and just hang out for a bit. But he's also a bitter, angry ex-boyfriend or whatever towards Xbox, always taking shots at Xbox. And now he wants to do that whole tipping thing, but for video games. Video games need tips. In a day and age where games are $70, he wants us to give more money. Give more money for these great $70 games. And I say that because he comes on Twitter all the time to announce how much he loves these big AAA games. I don't think I see him very often showing love for indie games, in which I would read this and go, okay, I can see his perspective. But it's always, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. He loves those type of games. He loves Sony games. I wonder why he's taking shots at Xbox. But what did he say here? I thought about this idea for a while as a player since I've been diving into single-player games lately. When I beat a game, there are some that just leave me in awe of how amazing the experience was. At the end of the game, I've often thought, I wish I can give these folks another $10 or $20 because it was worth more than my initial $70, and they didn't try to nickel and dime me every second. Games like Horizon Zero Dawn, PlayStation game, God of War, PlayStation game, Red Dead Redemption 2, a game that sold, 40 million plus copies, and BG3 was at Baldur's Gate 3, which I assume, they're an indie studio, right? That game probably sold at least 10 million copies. Elden Ring, 20 million plus seller. Not like a Brotato, Vampire Survivors. What other indie game? Insert indie game here. Undertale, which those are successful versions of indie games where only run by a few people and only need to sell maybe like 50,000 copies and they're set for life. So even those are bad examples, but still. I know $70 is a lot, but it's an option at the end of the game I wish I had at times. Some games are that special. Can you imagine a tip jar? Imagine watching like the hour-long credits and then a tip jar. Click here to tip. That would Oh my God. Oh my God. I know most will dislike this idea. Hey, I mean, you're right there. By the way, I realize we are tired of tipping and everything else. Yes, it's annoying. People out here make what, 14, 15 an hour, and they expect more money on top of that. Like, no, you work at McDonald's. You make 15 an hour. That's what you do. You go, man, this sucks. Maybe I should go get an education. Maybe I should go work hard to do something else, because that's what fast food work is. That's what a lot of this minimum wage work is. It's for you to get your foot in the door and learn how to work, flipping burgers, doing menial tasks, and then move along in life. Now, let me get crap, because there's people like that's all they can do. Hey, man, there's nothing wrong. Be the best burger flipper out there. My ex's dad said that, like, hey, if you just got to flip burgers, go be the best burger flipper ever. But I view this different from the pressure to tip type scenario many face and give feedback on. No, it is a pressure to tip. It is, the way I would read that is, yeah, you just paid $70 for this, and that was not enough. And again, the games he lists here are, they're doing all right. I think those studios are doing okay. Yeah, I'm glad Xbox threw this guy. He was filled with bad ideas. I mean, it wasn't he the one that got Ninja over to Mixer? Brought Ninja over to Mixer and a couple other streamers, and Mixer grew like 1% during the pandemic, while everyone else grew like 50, 100, 300%. Yeah, this is a very, very, very bad take. A tip jar. It's just what the world's going to become. We just all become DSP. We really become DSP. It's, DSP was ahead of his time. He was. But yeah, this is just a really, really bad take. And there are ways to support the game after you've given it $70. You know what I do? What's a game that I love? Final Fantasy 12 is my favorite game of all time. I bought the Zodiac Age when it came out in 2017, and I just fell in love with that game. I beat it, and then I immediately bought it on, I don't think anything, because I don't think it came out to, what did it come out next to? I think PC next. And when it came to PC, I bought it full price. I think it was $60, so I spent another $60 on it. And when it came to Switch, I bought it. Oh yeah, it's also on Xbox, and the Xbox version runs beautifully. I bought it there. So a game, even without microtransactions, I still support it. That's my way of tipping it. Buy more copies. You can just buy more copies of the game. You can gift the game. You can buy merchandise. There's other ways to do it besides a tip jar. Tip jar, where would that money even go? Here's the thing. All right. Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War, you're just giving the money to Sony. That's all you're doing, is giving the money to Sony. That's all you're doing. You're not giving it to the developers. I'm sure a game would do that. There'd be like one game, like, we're going to give it to the developers, but then that would become an issue because developers would quit or get fired. That'd be actually good retention. That would actually be good for retention. Like, hey, Mike Ybarra, this might actually be smart now that I think about it in terms of retaining employees. They do, hey, here's a tip jar. All this money is going to the developers of the video game, maybe minus like the director or whoever makes like a shit ton of money, but all the hard people working on the video game. And then as a stipulation for to get these tips, the studio can say like, hey, you have to be employed here. You have to be employed here. Now, they can't lay you off. Now, if they lay you off, I feel like you should still be entitled to the tips. That'd be a good retention, but still, ultimately, it's a very bad idea. You do not want people already mad at spending $70 for games, probably going to be $80, $90, $100 soon, to roll credits and see a tip jar. No, we don't do that here. But anyways, well, I'm going to get my car wash this weekend. I'm going to have to worry about tipping the dude who's going to like wipe down my car for like 5 seconds and tell me to fuck off. I got to worry about like, how much do I tip that guy? But anyways, I got to go. Bad take of the day, of the week, of the year. Yeah, Mike Ybarra should stay away from gaming if this is his ideas. Stay far away. Go travel to Nantucket and fuck it. Get out of here. All right, I got to go. I'll talk to you later. Later.